Today we're joined by architect, writer and artist Benedetta Tagliabue of EMBT Barcelona. From Barcelona to Shanghai and beyond, Benedetta brings a deep commitment to cultural integration, material experimentation, and community-driven design. In this conversation, we explore the roots of her work, her collaborative process, and how architecture can respond creatively to complex challenges.
Benedetta, thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm very happy. It's an honor. And I'm looking forward to know more about BAC.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a lot of connections here, of course, with the work you do and your origins and the BAC's origins and the work that comes out of the BAC and how we engage with the world, which is quite similar to how you and your firm engages with the world as well. So all of that is quite exciting. And I cannot tell you when we announced how many people reached out to me and said, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. We are so excited. We can't wait to meet Benedetta." So we are thrilled that you could be here. And I think you will find a very enthusiastic community here.
I'm very happy. I'm thrilled myself, really.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. As we were chatting earlier about, it's interesting that the story of your life and your work is absolutely fascinating, and it is global, right? And I wanted to see maybe we can. And as I was reading through various materials about you and your work, I thought there are some things that I wondered, I'm not finding material about this. So maybe I thought I will begin there and introduce you to the world in ways that has not been done before.
Thank you. This is very nice.
Okay, great. So I'm really curious about you you were born in the Lombardy region.
Yes.
Right?
Near
Milan. And could you tell us about what was it like growing up, your childhood, and your family circumstances?
Well, I come from the outskirts of Milan, let's say, in a place which is full of people who love work and very industrious, let's say. Now it's the industrial part of Italy, but it's because the people is like that.
Yeah.
And so I come from a Lombard family, very big family with a lot of connections, and with people who were like also inventors. You know, my grandfather, he started to transform his family business, which was dealing with coal and energy, in something different. So he introduced new machinery, introduced new ways of working, and I think I have this in my way of being. No, all around me is people who were producing, were inventing, maybe they had ideas and they were creating machines to realize these ideas. And this fact that the Lombard world that I come from is a world of inventors, when I discovered it, I felt very happy. And I understood a lot of things of why I choose my profession.
Right.
It's
fascinating. So it's an industrialist background.
Yes.
As you grew up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, there are also beautiful places. There are beautiful gardens and beautiful landscapes, and people love that. There is also the very countryside, which is mingling with this working, creational, industrial world. But I think that the idea that the people there is people creative, people who puts up their own business, let's say, very easily.
Yeah.
It's a reality.
So as you look back to your childhood, what were those formative moments for you?
I don't know. I think the formative moments were also being able to play a lot, to play with friends. Being on the outsides of a big city like Milan, it means that you are in a countryside, in a small towns. So in small towns, children are more free.
Yeah.
We went going around and playing with this and that, inventing hiding place or our little huts. And I think this idea of becoming an architect starts in this age, when you start to dream about making your own little house, or you invent ways of doing things to entertain your friends, or to entertain your society.
Yeah.
And also this idea of creating a little society is which you look after.
Yeah.
It's very important.
And what was the family circumstance like for you there?
Yeah, well, I mean, my family was a very bourgeois family, but we were 4 children, and we had a lot of children around. So I think this was the circumstances of my childhood, circumstance of having a very beautiful, easy, free life all together, and with the games, with the playfulness becoming a creative source. You know, at that time in Italy, people was going to school only in the morning.
Right.
Which creates a difference. No, now it's not like that. Not my children. But
How so? How so? How do you mean?
I mean that now all the schools are morning and afternoon.
Right.
So the children have
I see.
less time to play.
Okay, I see what you
We had all the afternoons to invent our societies, games. Every time, every afternoon was a self-invented way of looking at each other.
Right, right. Good, very good. That's great. So when did you discover your love for design or architecture?
I think I discovered when I was a kid, because it was one of these kids with a facility of drawing. So in my group, I was the one who was drawing things for jokes or for making ideas all together. And okay, this gave me this kind of idea that I had this possibility.
Yeah.
But I had no idea what architecture would mean.
Yeah.
So when I choose to be an architect, I was thinking maybe I like drawing, I love mathematics, I love this kind of scientific approach.
Yeah.
Maybe I can put things together.
Yeah.
I didn't really very much think that, in fact, I also love beauty.
Yeah. Right.
But everything at the end, the first year of my studies, I thought I was mistaken.
If I may get you back a little bit, how did you choose the architecture school? All the choices you had.
I choose because of this mathematics and drawings, which seem to be very much architecture, but also because I had this beautiful fantasies about having different society, an ideal society where we could live together, and maybe we could create our own little town or houses by ourselves. So this was a kind of a dream.
Right.
But it was a child dream.
Right.
So when I went to the university, it was a little shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
So how did you choose the school in Venice? You went to school in Venice.
yes.
So how did you choose that?
Well, this was a sort of a magical moment.
Yeah.
Because I've never been in Venice before. I had never been. And then we did for the last year before.
You had never been in Venice when you
Until-
were living in Milan.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, really?
Well, I was in Venice when I was maybe 7.
Okay. But now?
But then we didn't go back very much.
Huh.
So when I was 18,
Yeah.
we went with the school for a school trip.
Yeah.
And I saw Venice again, and I felt, oh, this is too much. I love it. So I did a kind of a secret magical move. I took away one of my earrings,
Huh.
and I threw it in the water.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That's interesting. Why did you do that?
Because I had in my heart the idea, I want to come back here.
Yeah.
And I want to have the
a
next
very
part of my studying life
Right.
in Venice.
Huh.
And this actually could happen.
Mm.
I was very determined, and this was a kind of a promise I was making with the lagoon.
It's very interesting because, see, I think earlier we were talking about Banaras in India, right?
Yeah.
Where one of the customs or traditions in Banaras is when you go there, you need to leave something behind that you really like.
Aha.
Not something you dislike, but something you like. It's
Like
kind
an
of
earring.
similar, an earring, and throwing the earring in the lagoon, in the water, and so that's fascinating. Okay, so you made the
Later, I
contact.
discovered that, every year there was a beautiful ceremony in Venice
Yeah.
where the chief of Venice, the Doge, was making a marriage with the lagoon and was throwing a ring.
Ha.
I didn't know
But you
that.
didn't know that.
No.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So that is how you made the contact.
Exactly.
And then you made a choice to go to the school there.
To go to the school there, which
wow.
was actually a beautiful school. It was, everybody was giving me good references of the architectural school in Venice.
Yeah.
And then I went there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. And you never looked back, really.
Yeah, it was an adventure because at the beginning it was not easy to understand the university. Italian universities are very big, very chaotic, very complicated. You don't find your way. It's really like a labyrinth, finding your way in a labyrinth. But Venice, which is a labyrinth in itself, I was living there and I was discovering this city, and I was at the beginning falling in love with the city, and little by little trying to understand how to move into this very difficult university.
Yeah.
And discover treasures
Yeah.
inside the university.
Wow. How many people in your class at that time?
There were no classes. I mean, we were kind of 8,000 students in the university.
Right. Right.
We were the first year, but you could choose among many professors or your own study plan. So you didn't really have one class or classmates. You had a lot of colleagues, and you were making relationship with them.
Yeah.
And then you were choosing the professors you like more. And in that moment, I remember I went very near to the history department, led by Manfredo Tafuri at that time.
Yep, my favorite theoretician,
He was fantastic.
Yeah,
He was
extraordinary.
Incredible lessons.
Yeah.
And around Manfredo, there were a lot of very interesting people, like Massimo Scolari, for example, or Francesco Dalcò, Franco Rella, Massimo Cacciari entered at a certain point. So we were learning Tissot, Georges Tissot, and many other teachers.
That's fascinating. I mean, clearly a great intellectual circle to envy, really. I mean, that's an envy of the world, really.
I needed time to understand that this circle was there, because the circle was not very easy to find, and you had to discover class by class. But then when you discover, you notice that there is a really intellectual world, which at the time was, really pulsating.
And so after graduating, or while you were graduating, what did you think about where you were going to go and what happened?
The problem, let's say, architectural department, the history department was very good in the architectural school. But the architecture projects, they were calling it composition, was very difficult because we were many. And it's very difficult to learn when you have many. This is not something theoretical. You need someone practical together with you. And so I was feeling that it was not good enough. So I started to travel a bit and to look for professors which were coming expressly, making more cared studios. And then I met in a summer school Peter Cook and John Haydock. And I started to understand that there was more world. So at the end, I asked to make the possibility to have a thesis project for Venice, but done in Cooper Union with John Haydock.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, the BAC was founded based on Cooper Union.
Really?
Yeah, so this was founded about 30 years after Cooper Union was found. So that was a model for BAC.
Oh,
Quite literally. It's in the very first
fantastic.
page of our history book. Is it's modeled after that.
I think Cooper is a wonderful
Yeah,
school.
absolutely.
And that BAS
Yeah.
has this
So that's the lineage of where it comes from.
fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So that's great. So you went, you studied with John Heduk
Yes.
on the thesis project.
Yes, of course, he was very busy, so he gave me to one of his favorite students who was teaching there, Diane Lewis,
Ah, okay.
who was also very crazy.
Okay.
And we started to do a crazy project, which would have never...
Love it. Crazy projects are good, right? Yeah. It is good.
We had a wonderful
What did you do? What project was it?
It was about Central Park, and was about also the sky on top of New York and the relation of New York with Venice. And at the end, I was able to do this project, which was between the city of New York and Central Park, representing the clouds, let's say, the clouds on top of the city, and it was a very beautiful relation. We were breaking part of the wall in Central Park, and making people enter more easily, and finding sports facilities on top of the reservoir, and and saunas and Turkish baths.
Sure. Yeah, no, that sounds absolutely fascinating. So those are the kind of formative times of your architectural career. And then what happened after you graduated?
Then, before I graduated,
Yeah.
I met in New York someone who also I met through other friends, and we published his work in a student magazine we were doing, and his name was Enric Miralles.
Yeah.
And he was teaching at Columbia while I was doing my thesis in Cooper Union. But he started to convince me that the restaurants were very bad. He couldn't eat very well. So I started to invite him at home for lunch, for breakfast. And we started to make a lot of tours for the city. He was very interesting. And we were touring the city of the 30s in New York. And we started to have a lot of moments together.
Yeah.
So we fall in love.
Naturally.
That's
Yeah.
naturally.
That's a beautiful story. Yeah.
So when I graduated,
Yeah.
I had, of course, a very beautiful relationship with New York and the Cooper Union, but I have my heart set in someone who was living in Barcelona.
Yeah.
So I decided to go to Barcelona, which in that moment was booming because the Olympics were
Olympics, yeah.
going to happen in a 3 years' time.
Right.
And I immediately found someone who wanted me in their office. So I started to live in Barcelona, and our love story with Enric Miralles went on.
Yeah, that is beautiful discovery and connection. And so really the Olympics time and the projects at the time were the ones you collaborated quite a bit on, right?
Yeah, it was everybody was working at the time on Olympics projects. All the city was moving in relation to what was happening in the Olympics. I think it was a very good moment because before that, Spain was not very dynamic, and especially Barcelona.
Yeah.
Barcelona was a part of Spain which was a little neglected. So there were a lot of things to do, a lot of infrastructures and new highways and schools and sport facilities and civic centers, libraries, everything was to do. And good architects had been stayed inside the universities with very little work until the moment. But then when the work started to be possible and necessary, everybody had their own language. Everybody had already a kind of a way of doing, a fantastic capacity of making architecture. And then I think the miracle of what happened in that years in Barcelona could happen.
Yeah.
Because everybody was prepared.
That was a magical moment, right? I mean, that's, I think, a special time.
Yeah.
Do you see that? Did you see that kind of a time happen again?
Not really in Barcelona, but I think things happen here and there in different moments.
Different moments, but not necessarily.
They tried, for example, to make it happen again in 2004.
Yeah.
They invented a new event, but it was not the same. The event was not so important. The focus was not so strong. The city was different. The people was different. So you have to find moments like that.
Yeah, right. I mean, Olympics was that powerful moment.
Yeah.
It had a lasting impact, of course, on the city as well as your life and career.
But for example, now I'm invited to work in Albania. And now I'm very surprised because Albania is what was Barcelona before the Olympics,
Right.
but multiplied for 10, let's say.
Right.
Because they had a 6-year dictatorship where they could do nothing at all. Nobody built anything. So there is a lack of everything.
Right.
Lack of infrastructure, lack of public spaces, lack of public buildings, lack of beauty.
Right.
And the prime minister is an artist.
Yeah.
And he's in love with architecture.
Oh, great.
So he is now calling a lot of architects to come to Albania to give with architecture and good design something back to the nation.
So you're finding that moment in Albania now.
Yes,
Yeah. I
very
think
strong.
India probably is in a similar moment at this time. Kind of an explosive energy of both infrastructure building and all aspects of the built environment
Yes,
being built, new institutions. So the institutional setting and framework and new cities coming up.
yeah, this is fantastic. No? It's
as well. So
it's our moments because to prepare for those moments, there are maybe centuries.
yeah, that is true.
You know.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, centuries go without such a wonderful moment. So dialing back into that time and the formative time, could you tell me a little more about between the Olympics and the unfortunate moment when Enric passed
Died.
away? Yeah.
Well, I think it seems a small moment, but it was very intense. So it was so intense. So there were 10 years, maybe 10, 11 years that we were together preparing for the Olympics and after the Olympics. But they were so rich with a lot of things happening that I think I still take from those moments sources for my architecture and our studio now.
Yeah.
And it was very beautiful. I think it was, the moment was very special. And there was a lot of enthusiasm around. And Spain was also opening up towards, in that time, it was very strange to say an architect could work somewhere else from where he was living.
Right.
It was nearly impossible.
Right.
And we were the first with Enric Miralles to open up to other places.
Yeah.
He was teaching in the United States and then in Germany. And then we were going around giving lectures, participating to competitions, winning some of the competitions. So we started this not only focusing on Spain, but also focusing on the outside. And this was a little necessary because we had a lot of energy and Enric was really a strength of nature, but we were very young. So when you're young, you don't have everybody coming to you and say, oh, well, I want you to build my new library, my new...
Right.
No, it's not so easy. So we were going out.
Yeah.
And where you go out, you are then not part of the generations. You are simply a person who is proposing something that maybe is fantastic. So
I'd like to shift the gears to the time when you were invited to become part of the Pritzker Prize jury. And I'd like to talk about that for a couple of reasons. Of course, you were on the jury that chose Balkrishna Doshi.
yes,
And of course, he is our honorary alum, and we honored him in 2021. And so a lot of connections. And of course, growing up in India, I admired Doshi and Doshi's work.
Yeah.
And he continues to be a source of incredible amount of relevant thought leadership, architectural leadership, urban leadership, even after he passed away,
Yeah.
a few years ago now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I wanted to, so that the reasons I wanted to go back and see, Pritzker Prize has become an extraordinary platform, an institution that in a way defines or comments on, frames, elevates, a number of interesting things. There have been a lot of surprises
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
terms of how things happen. So I wanted to maybe talk a little bit more about that, because your contributions to, obviously as an architect and urban designer, you contributed through that work, but not everybody gets this kind of an opportunity to play such a role on such an influential jury. So could you maybe talk a little bit about how did that come about, and then your time on the jury?
I don't know. Everything happened by chance. No, I say that many of the things that happen to us is also fortune.
Yeah.
And I was, of course, moving a lot in the world.
Yeah.
And I think someone saw me somewhere in London or somewhere giving a lecture, and so they thought maybe she's a possible candidate for the jury, but I didn't know about that. So they started to be very secret and say, "Well, there's someone who would like to see you. Are you maybe in London the next days?" Yes, I will go to London because I had my children studying in London. So I was going to London and met by chance this person who was the president of the jury of the Pritzker, Mr. Peter Palumbo.
Oh yeah.
Lord Peter Palumbo.
Lord, yeah.
And then, okay, nice conversation, that's it. And then, well, maybe by chance, are you near, because there is a lady who wants to meet you. And this was Margot Pritzker. And then I started to suspect. And then one day they told me, "You're chosen to be part of the jury."
Oh, beautiful.
It was very beautiful. And the idea is that they choose you, and then you have to resign after some years. And if they don't want to lose you, they say, no, wait a little bit. And we went on very many years because it was a very beautiful relationship. And I think the idea of the Pritzker is a very nice idea, because they choose jurors who are not only architects,
Right.
but also are fantastic people of different professions.
Yeah.
So the year I was there, I had, for example, Ratan Tata.
Ratan Tata from India.
Yes, from India. I had Stephen Bryers
From here, Boston.
Here, Boston.
Yeah.
Well, I had also the ambassadors who were there, and critics, and so it was very, very entertaining, very beautiful. We are obliged to make a trip together, and this is luxury.
That's magical.
That's magical because
That's such a luxury. Yeah, you're right.
you can look at architecture together, and you make conversations about that, and you make conversation about other things.
Sure.
And then one day you meet again,
Yeah.
and you decide who is this
Right.
year winner.
Right.
And you had all these conversations which are giving base
Yeah.
to the decision.
Right.
So we have a kind of a common ground.
Yeah.
And we understood together what is the situation of the moment.
Yeah.
So that every time is important to choose someone
Yeah.
who is representative
Yeah.
for the moment, for the actual situation.
So, it's an interesting process, right? Not everybody might realize that it is such an intensive process, literally a journey, right? It's not like you're sitting in a room and you're looking at some portfolios and work and say, oh, that. No.
No.
You actually go visit these projects
Yes.
of whoever is under consideration.
Yes.
And you have a shared experience and on that basis, something emerges.
This is the idea, and it's actually working.
Yeah.
And sometimes you go and visit projects. Of course, you don't visit one architect, you visit more.
Yeah.
But sometimes you go and visit a possible candidate, and then altogether we choose someone else.
Right.
That maybe we have visited 4 years before. You know, it's a unpredictable process, which makes the Pritzker very interesting. And I think the family is Pritzker family is very important in that because they maintain themselves outside.
Wow.
They don't want to impose. But in the same time, they are keeping conversation with us once a year, twice a year,
Right.
in order to understand what is the real need of the moment.
Right. So the relevance and the times
Yeah,
do they
exactly.
speak through this prize? Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why the prize is always evolving and sometimes is absolutely surprising.
So you did visit, therefore, India, I would imagine, in this
Yes.
connection, and you. had
We
a
also
chance to see the
visited
works.
India. We visited many nations. We are flying a lot during that week that we do together.
Wow.
And Doshi, I was lucky enough to have met him years before when we did a trip with Enric Miralles and his school, where he was director at the time, Städelschule in
Yeah.
Frankfurt. So I organized a trip for everybody, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was memorable. It was 92. Maybe it was not so easy to go to India at that time.
Right.
And we visited Chandigarh. We visited, of course, also Dhaka. We went and we visited Ahmedabad, and we also visited Doshi's studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we visited one of his latest park, which is dealing also with local knowledge,
Yeah.
you know, with people, with not only with fantastic Le Corbusier, but also mixing it with what he could find in the people. And I think this is what I admire most of Doshi, you know, this capacity of creating a society around the architecture is doing and learning from the society.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the power in terms of also what you're doing is with your work and your firm and your global engagement, but also your engagement outside beyond your firm through like the Pritzker Prize participation, teaching. You're teaching this year at Yale, right? As you
Yes,
probably-
yes, I just finished and the semester.
So you're teaching, and we welcome you to the BAC, and hopefully you'll teach here too.
Oh,
at some point in the
fantastic.
future, right? So you're involved in all of this, and Doshi was too, right? I mean, he was an institution builder.
Yeah.
He was more than. I think that's what I find fascinating about you as well as Doshi and Tatiana last year,
yeah.
and all of you are involved in a project called life. Right? It is not just practice. It is not just architecture. But I think you are involved in something that is multiple levels. It engages with the society globally.
Yeah.
That I find that very powerful and beautiful.
This is necessary. Otherwise, you don't. You're not so near to the architecture you're doing. I think when you start to think about really how you would like to do this new architecture in relation with the people and learn from the place, learn from the future users, and make a little bit of experimentation in all that, and take your risk. I think then the project starts to become very, very dear to you.
Right.
Only in this way. So I think this is the only way we have to make projects.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, the other way is a little say, well, we know how to do it. We do it. No.
Right. Right. Exactly. So I think that's a good segue to talk about your process in working on your projects that you've been commissioned or you go for competition and things like that. So first, wanted to talk about the what is the process that you undertake when you are involved, engaged in a project? And how does it vary from a client commission project to a competition project?
Well, client commission project, we had very little, very few, I have to say. But I'd love to have more now because I think it's very difficult to make competitions all the time. But we were always competition people because we started in that Spain, which was making people work through competition.
Yeah.
And we have this habit.
Yeah.
And so we are going on making competitions and saying, listen, we're interested about the possibility to do this building. And if you let me say, I would do it this and this and this and this way. And this is a very good way to apply for architecture because you're kind of making a big effort.
Yeah.
And you're really trying to listen at the maximum what the other is asking you.
Right.
And the other is kind of listening to your suggestions. So it's a dialogue,
Yeah.
and competition is a tough process, very difficult for us because we have to make many to arrive to have one selected.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful one.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we are sitting in the competition winning project here.
Wow.
The BAC, as I was mentioning to you earlier, was a design competition between 1964 and its dedication in 1966. There was a process by which there was a national competition held, and people like Peter Eisenman, Michael Graves, Fumi Hikomaki, and Peter Chermayev, Cambridge 7, a lot of firms competed for this.
Imagine.
And so in that sense, there is that spirit here, and we are celebrating the 60th year
Wow.
of this particular building. So this is a big moment for this building, for the competitions.
Yeah, for the
And
competitions.
I love to do, as I mentioned to you earlier, competitions. And that is my career, because you can choose the kinds of projects that one might not get ever to be commissioned, but you can stand a chance of being commissioned,
Exactly.
therefore winning it.
Exactly.
And you can flesh out your entire idea.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, right? It's not just necessarily iterative, but actually present a vision,
I totally agree.
right? So I think that's fascinating that you make a choice of pursuing that. Even today, is that the case?
Yes, even today.
Okay.
Unluckily, because I always say, why now is not a lot of people coming to me and say, I want you to design my headquarters or...
Right.
No, but this doesn't happen very much.
Okay.
Sometimes it happened, I have to say,
Yeah.
but very seldom.
Yeah.
Most of the buildings we have won in competition.
Was the gas natural tower also a competition?
competition.
Project? Right. Was it? Okay.
A competition, yes.
And the Venice project?
Was a competition,
Wow.
which unluckily was never built.
Right.
Because Venice is, as Manfredo Tafuri was explaining us, Venice is rejecting the new,
Yeah.
is afraid about
Tell me about that. Then maybe there is something to talk about that. So what happened? So you participated in the competition.
Yes.
Explain, what was the project and what did you do and what happened after that?
Actually, we participated for the competition to make the new building of my university.
Right.
Of course.
That's a great opportunity.
Fantastic. So I was very proud. And with Enric, we were going to Venice together. We won the competition.
That is the IUAV
Yes.
competition.
IUAV, yes.
Yep.
And it was a fantastic site and a fantastic... also, it was the first part of a new campus around. And I love the project. But then, well, Enric died in the middle of the process, which we were in the middle of many important projects, but we were going on, and we also put the first stone.
Yeah.
But then immediately problems arise, and the Italian system is very complicated. They had to bid for it with a very low budget, which was not feasible.
Right.
So they were fighting for a better budget, and at the end, this never happened.
Yeah. Oh, I see. That's unfortunate.
It was very unfortunate. I couldn't believe it. I thought maybe it was a kind of a problem, momentaneous problem, but
Okay.
no,
So it's never been built, but
it's never being built. And now that I still travel to Venice to go to the Biennales, or I invent every occasion to go to Venice, I pass in front of the place and there is a kind of a prefabricated building there.
ha,
Terrible.
very.
Because it's the only way sometimes Venice can get permissions. They say,
Oh, I see. Okay.
you know,
So is that the political process there that is restrictive? Why? What was the struggle there?
no, in a way, at the beginning, we had the permissions and everybody was very happy with the project, but there was this practical difficulty,
Okay.
which was not resolved.
Okay.
And now it's very difficult to find new permissions. And so instead of going through a very big competition, the university in this case prefer to say, no, we're not building, we're just making some prefabricated places to host some little necessary things. And this is the way
Okay.
Venice always happened.
Okay. I see. Okay.
Because the Accademia Bridge was like that.
Right. Right.
No, it's not a real bridge. It's only a wooden bridge that we will change in a few years.
Yeah.
And so every time the bridge was substituted by the same bridge.
Yeah.
And now nobody would change it anymore.
That's right. Yeah. I think in your book you write about Le Corbusier never got to build in Venice.
Exactly.
Louis Kahn never got to build in Venice. Really, very, very few people, if any,
Yeah.
got to build substantially in Venice.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Frank Lloyd, right?
Never.
I didn't realize that was even an aspiration at the time.
Yes. He did a project for a gallery, which was nearly on the Grand Canal, was never built.
Very fascinating.
So
it's a
but not only them, also Palladio had a lot of projects rejected. And Sansovino, who was a fantastic Renaissance architect,
right.
he had to become a sort of a more Gothic to be accepted by the city of Venice. So it's very interesting too.
So it's a distinct group to be rejected there.
Exactly. We felt, in this case, we feel we're in a very good company.
Very good company indeed. This is great. And I'm really fascinated by your more recent work that's quite complex and in many respects of it, particularly the cancer center, the cancer center. Could you talk about that? That seems to be near and dear to your heart.
Yeah.
And please tell me more.
It's very near to my heart because working on this cancer center made me understand a lot of things. You know, that maybe I already knew a little bit, but this became very, very clear. And it's a cancer center coming from the idea of the Maggie's centers, which were in themselves an invention by Maggie Keswick and Charles Jenks. And Maggie had the experience of going through cancer.
Yeah.
And she realized that hospitals were providing one part of the medicine, but not another one, which is very, very important, which is the human feeling. How do you feel when you go in a hospital and how they treat you?
Right.
And where is your person there?
Yeah.
So she started to think it's important to have a place next to the hospital where you can go and feel a person again, a complete person. So that a complete person who can take decisions and can go and have a cup of tea by themselves and can sit and find someone next and have a conversation, or maybe can go in the garden and just cry, for example. So this very simple idea started to become real.
Right.
And on top of this idea, there was the space has to be a space where you feel well.
Yeah.
And they started to believe in architects because they were architects themselves and invite very good architects to design special places where this feeling can happen.
Right.
And as we were saying before, architecture needs moment where you understand how important it is.
Yeah.
And this moment really is giving back to architecture this importance.
Yeah.
No, it's an art which is caring for the person, which makes people feel better, more complete.
Right.
They can create this feeling of belonging, which is so important.
Yeah.
So I discovered that by designing this
Beautiful.
building.
There are a lot of things I'd like to unpack a little bit about it and say, you're really talking about a very precious and important intersection of the need to feel well.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, is very interesting from what you said. Please tell me more about that in terms of what does it mean to feel well when one is going through this kind of a journey,
Yeah. Yeah.
trauma.
I think when you're ill, you're very sensible. So everything is giving you a great effect. No, a bad environment or an environment which is hostile, no, makes you feel worse. Then the good environment can make you feel better. No, can give you a kind of a feeling of being more complete. No? So in a way, architecture has this power, and also the nature has this power. This is very clear. No, when we feel we want to be comforted
Yeah.
by the environment, we try to stay in a kind of a natural environment.
Yeah.
So I think there is no real formula.
Yeah.
Maybe in time, humanity has always tried to give formulas, no? Finding harmonies. Palladio was talking about making architecture which is harmonic like music, or maybe there were different tries in China. There is a feng shui, which is an art, a science.
Right.
But I think we have to find it every time.
Right.
You know? We have to understand what is needed
Yeah.
in this moment, so that you give back to the space, to the place, a place where people can feel more complete.
Right.
They can feel well.
Yeah.
And I think it's a kind of a beautiful investigation we have in front of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And it won the Jenks Prize as well.
Yes.
And that rightly so. Was that the first project outside of UK to be built in that mold?
Yes, because Maggie is a let's say an association which started in UK.
In UK.
So it started in Scotland because Maggie's Keswick and Charles Jenks were Scottish. Then started to expand in every Great Britain hospital.
Yeah.
Now they have maybe 30 something, and this idea arrived in Barcelona through someone who had experimented in the UK, one of these centers. So this lady was really with this obsession in mind. And she had a group of friends, all of them women who had gone through breast cancer. And they came to see me because they knew the story of the cancer of my late husband.
Yeah.
And they say, would you like to fight together to have a center like that in Barcelona? And we started like that.
I see.
So that's why the project actually, from this beginning, lasted maybe 18 years.
Oh, really?
Yes, because at the beginning there was nothing.
Oh, wow.
There was always some people wishing to have
Just an idea.
just an idea
Yeah.
to have a place like that in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And then one of these ladies were fighting a lot, and she could find people listening to her, and a hospital in Barcelona who was very interested about the idea. Say, okay, we have no money, but we have a possible space that we can give, and try to find for someone. And then a foundation arrived, kind of a humanitarian foundation, and they wanted to marry this project. They said, we love this project. We want to make this first one and then try to make many others in Spain, because we would like this to be a kind of something necessary in the worlds of hospitals.
Fantastic. So I think what the important takeaway for me from these projects is, in this particular project, is that you don't treat it like a healthcare center,
No.
but rather it is a place where one finds meaning
Yeah.
and finds dignity and finds somehow a liberation and a freedom
Yeah.
to feel well and be included.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
This is the point,
brilliant.
no? To feel
Yeah.
that you are really immersed in this in this space, and you are enjoying the architecture, consciously or unconsciously.
Right.
You're enjoying the fact that this space is linked with nature, with the garden, with some natural world, and it's a kind of a feeling, no? Giving you a place where you can relax.
That's fascinating. So how has then that informed your subsequent works? Has it changed how you approach projects, and what do you do differently?
Well, then when I started to think, how to make a place which is really giving this kind of feelings to the users, and we know that the users are kind of more sensible because they are in this moment going through cancer.
Right.
I thought, but all of us is sensible,
Yeah.
and we are working a lot about public spaces, public works, and stations and squares. And it is very important to apply this same philosophy in everything you're doing in the public realm,
Right.
because you need to consider and to take into consideration the fact that people who are going through a station should also feel, consciously or unconsciously, well, this is a little like the extension of my home. I like it. No, I'm happy to come here. And if I have to come every day because I have to go to the train,
Yeah.
well, this is more a pleasure than a burden.
Yeah. That's brilliant. I really love the playfulness of your work and the fluidity of the work. Really, and as I was sharing with my own work, and language is very similar. So I have, your work is very dear to my heart, right?
Thank you.
And in studios that I taught, I always used to refer to and say, look at that work.
Thank you, Mahesh. This is nice to discover.
Absolutely, because I find that there are choices we can make as designers where we can impose certain geometries on the site, whatever site it is, or we can look at the complexity of the site, and not just physically, but politically, socially, culturally, and then weave those in. The weaving is where I find your work quite fascinating, right? You do weaving quite a bit.
Yeah, this is
Tell me
true.
about it. Yeah.
This is true, and I physically did an architecture with weaving.
Right, the Shanghai
The
project.
Shanghai project, which then it was not so easy to repeat. I tried with the robots inclusions, but it's not so easy.
Yeah,
But we will. One day we will do it.
absolutely. Yeah,
But it's physically, weaving is a fantastic tool. And you discover that this is the tool that humanity had to start everything, because everywhere in the globe, weaving is an art, and is an art since very primitive times. So it's impressive. And as you were saying, weaving is also our capacity of understanding the thousand threads which arrive to the possibility of a new project, and trying to put them together, and make this new project not really by just imposing some previous idea that you had, but saying, oh, well, I can put this and this and this and this together, and this is a result. And maybe it's something which is more natural, and more informal and more responding to what actually the situation was asking you.
that's beautiful. And I think that is evident also in the Santa Catarina market, where you do this extraordinary urban intervention of the market, right? From taking something that was quite run down and a mix of things, to something extraordinary and exuberant, and an extraordinary roofscape
Yeah.
that then becomes part of the landscape of the city. And it's been quite a transformative building project.
Yes. I'm very happy about the Santa Caterina.
Tell me about.
First of all, because I'm a neighbor.
Yeah.
So Santa Caterina was always my market.
Oh, really?
And we did a work to make better our neighborhood.
Wow. Was it a competition project?
It was a competition.
Okay.
But actually, it started because we started to protest as neighbors.
Oh, really?
And at the end, we won the competition, but we started to protest because they wanted to tear down all the old building.
Oh, I see.
And so we started to say, what are you doing? This is an old building. We have to renovate, but please don't talk about turning everything down and build a new piece of city in the historical city. So we were getting in contact with the politicians, with the people who were deciding. At the end, they did a competition, and we won the competition.
I see.
But it was a competition based very much on a conversation that we had instigated, we had started.
Yeah.
And then the conversation went on because I think Santa Caterina was one of the first projects we had on our table where everything was fluid. You know, we were kind of adapting every time to, you know, for example, this was a very big market. At the beginning, they said, "Oh, everybody will go away." Then they say, "No, only 1/3 of the sellers will remain." Then half, then 3/3, and then there were housing, then there were not housing.
Wow.
You know, it was constantly changing because the city was even not sure about how to do it.
Right.
And we were very involved in the complexity of the city itself because the city is not only the citizens, but it's what we call the city is thousands of departments, usually in fight between each other,
Right.
not knowing what the others are doing,
Yep.
and maybe wanting to do the opposite of what the one wants. So putting everything together in a kind of a general idea, good idea for the city, is an incredible work. Was a work of threads. By trying to understand the history, the citizens, the Department of Transport, the Department of Markets, the archaeological departments, and so on and so on.
So in a way, on the one hand, it is a messy process.
Yeah.
And as you said, things begin to get discovered as the conversation happens.
Yeah.
And then there is greater involvement. One way to look at it is, oh my God, it is messy. Oh my God, it is bureaucratic. But on the other hand, that is actually the sign that it is working because it has activated a number of stakeholders, right?
Yeah.
And then things come together.
Yeah.
That is where architecture and design comes into play, right? That's where. So the roofscape that you did with the ceramic tile work that kind of reflects the produce in the market, right?
Yes,
That
the
was a
fruit and
brilliant idea.
vegetables.
Fruits and vegetables in there. That's quite a brilliant idea. To make it explicit and to make it expressive on that undulating roofscape. That is, it's quite a hit. The project has been, right?
Yeah. I think it was, as you say, it's at the end, it's fantastic that all this collaboration could happen.
Yeah.
But it's very dangerous because a project like that can be stopped very easily. Because
As you saw that in Venice?
yes, Venice was very sad. I think when Enric died, we had something like 12 projects going on. And maybe the only one which didn't happen was Venice.
Wow, that's quite extraordinary.
Yeah.
In a way, that I think I want to ask you, what was the most professionally challenging moment for you throughout your career, and what have you learned from that?
I think it was challenging when Enric died, because I had the habit to be the partner and wife of a genius, which was not so easy, because sometimes they forget about you. He was brilliant. And his brilliancy was making him shining, so much so that everything which was around him was not so visible anymore. But it was beautiful. I was very happy to be next to him. But then at one moment, this light disappeared.
Yeah.
And we remained alone. So we had many projects which were in the middle of doing, and I felt I didn't want at all that this project could get lost. So I really felt this determination about fighting for them, for making the projects go on.
Yeah.
And I have to say that all the people in the studio were next to me.
Yeah.
We were all together.
Yeah.
But it was a big challenge because we have never been before without Enric.
Right.
We had a lot of enemies appearing, of course.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
It's when, let's say, our society is a little like the jungle, When people sees that you become weaker, they think, oh, well, now we can eat it. No, it's exactly
You
like
saw
the
that
jungle.
in Barcelona or everywhere else?
Everywhere.
Interesting.
Everywhere. So the only possibility was to say, well, you think that this is weak? It's not.
It's not.
No, to
Yeah.
show that you're
Absolutely.
absolutely strong.
Yeah.
And we could show it quite well. Yes.
Yeah, and that's remarkable. So how did that, so it was a moment, tell me about the significance of that moment for you.
This was very important. In a way, sometimes I have the feeling that Enric made me a kind of a joke, and say, hey, now you try, and push you in the swimming pool. And of course, he didn't do it on purpose.
Right.
This was the destiny. But it was...
Thrown into the deep end of the pool is a metaphor.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a metaphor. No? You had to swim. You had to do something to survive. No? So in a way, I discovered the strength of the desperation.
Absolutely.
This survival strength we have inside, it's enormous. And I think I found all the capacities and the possibilities through this survival desire. And it was also good fun because at the end we, together with the people of the studio, because I felt this family and this going together, not going alone, we could start to say, well, we act as if Enric is on a trip and what would he say? Well, we draw like that, we like this, maybe he wouldn't like that. And we started in this way. And little by little, things were happening, things were going on. Our self-esteem was going up because we understood that we could manage things.
Right.
And also we started to understand that we had not only to think what Enric would do, but to think what we would do with the changing situation, because this happened in year 2000.
Yeah.
25
years.
25 years ago. And so many things have been changing.
Right.
No,
Right. And we'll talk about what is changing in a moment. And I wanted to, I suppose our conversation wouldn't be complete if we don't talk about maybe, what would you characterize as the most problematic or challenging project that you had to deal with?
I think the most challenging project was the Scottish Parliament. This was challenging since the very beginning. We were participating to a competition where Enric at the beginning said, why are we doing this competition?
Yeah.
This is an institutional project. We are not institutional.
Okay.
But of course, then it was a beautiful project and we loved Scotland. So we participated to the competition and very unexpectedly, because there was a lot of very big architects and big studios from UK, we won the competition.
Yeah.
So immediately we realized what it was. It was a very important building.
Yeah.
Scotland was waiting centuries to have this building done.
Exactly.
They tried 3 centuries before,
No
and
pressure. Absolutely no pressure. Right. Yeah.
all the public opinion was on top.
Yeah.
Everybody was kind of scandalized that this young Catalan people would be in charge of the main important building that they were doing at the moment. And of course, politicians were behind. So there was a group which was in power, which was in favor, and a group which was not in power, which was always against. Always against. And this started to be an adventure. We were laughing at the beginning when when we found these terrible articles on the newspapers with vignettes, with Enric, I don't know.
The cartoons being made.
Yes, the cartoons. But at the end, we started to be a little annoyed. It was not so easy to go on with that. And then when Enric got ill and suddenly died, this was terrible.
That was a cataclysmic moment.
It was a cataclysm because the project was very frail even before. You know, for example, when the parliament happened as an institution, we had a project which was, very determined yet. And the first thing the parliament as an institution did was to vote if to maintain the project that was existing or to revoke it.
I see.
And this was won, this votation was won for our project for 2 votes.
Oh my goodness.
So you see, the risk was real.
Wow.
It was a very frail situation. When Enric got ill, it was a second votation then.
Right.
And so there was people using his illness and then his death to move politically the things and say, we cannot do that. So it was very, very tough, very demanding. And then nobody knew if we were able as a studio to go on with the work.
Yeah.
And we could.
Yeah.
We had our local partners, our MGM, who were very strong and very capable. Yeah. But we were really giving the lines to follow. Yeah. And I think this worked.
I mean, I've read obviously a lot has been said about it, right? A lot has been written about it. Have you, but I think one thing that I couldn't quite find is what you described in terms of the through line of the ups and downs of the project and the complexities of it, the politics of it.
Yeah.
And, but then very valuable lessons that have been learned in doing that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's an incredibly complex project you got built and then was later recognized with the Stirling Prize, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So quite the recognition. And now people really admire it.
Yeah.
Right? It became part of the cultural and national identity as well.
You know, Mahesh, now it's the first time after 20 years of the opening that they came back to me and say, oh, well, why don't you come and give a lecture about that? Or this happened last year or this year.
Wow.
Why don't you make an exhibition inside the parliament about the creation of the parliament? So it's the first time they are just not saying, well, we don't want to talk about this problematic building. And they say, the building is fantastic. We want to open it to public and we want public to know about it. So I'm so happy.
This is great. This is a great story and a great lesson for, those who are going to be watching this particular broadcast is when you are in a moment like that, don't give up. That is the opportunity to really bring out the best from within you.
Yeah.
And persevere. And then in projects like that, recognition might arrive quite a bit late.
Yeah.
Because the time scale of this is not 10 years. It may be 100, 200, or 300, or sometimes 400 years.
Yeah.
It's going to last a long, long time.
Exactly.
Right? It creates a legacy.
Exactly.
And that's a kind of a long view we may need to take.
Yeah.
And be a little more detached from being overly, the roller coaster ride of doing projects like that is you can go up and down and up and down, and that don't be wrapped up in that.
Yeah.
What would you say, that you draw from that or gain from that?
Well, I think I always believed in what we were doing.
Yeah.
Because I knew our intentions, And I couldn't understand that nobody else could see that our intentions were really good.
Yeah.
We wanted to make
Yeah.
a very fantastic building which would work well with the city, which would give the citizens a new place to recognize, but also to walk around, and the politicians a fantastic place to work. But maybe nobody else was believing it.
Right.
But we believed it
Yeah.
because we knew that the intention was good.
Yeah.
And now it's so fantastic that the intention is recognized and became open for everybody.
Yeah.
So I think I understood that, that we have to fight very much to make our ideas being understood.
Yeah.
Because we think that everybody sees our ideas as we do,
Right.
but most of the time people just mistake us,
Right. Yeah.
and don't see what we have to offer.
Yeah.
So that we have to insist a lot, explain a lot, communicate a lot, make a lot of effort in trying to make everybody convinced.
Absolutely.
That-
And I think in the process of your making now, shifting the topic to your process and to come to our times now in 2025, over the years, obviously, you started at a time when computers were not playing a huge role in the design process or construction process. And then you adapted to that.
Yeah.
And you started using it quite a bit, like in the Santa Catarina project, you were modeling it and
Yes.
you're using it a lot. And then in the Shanghai project,
Yes, of
in
course.
the pavilion, the Spanish pavilion project, you used quite extensively. And now you integrate quite a bit of that into your process. Right?
Yes, we do. We do, and because we believe that tools are there to be used.
Yeah.
And if you have fantastic new tools, okay, they have to enter. But also, we believe that the hands are a fantastic tool, no? And this kind of practicality, because at the end, the buildings have to be built by hands.
Yeah. Right.
And so we keep also the hand construction and the hand drawings and the collage. We keep it in the office. And for example, what you were saying, the Shanghai pavilion, we involved a lot of a digital world, but also the manual world to make tries, no?
Yeah.
To see this looks solved, but is it solved on the other side? No, so that you have a double check.
Yeah.
And also a double check which is giving more intensity to the architecture you're producing.
Yeah.
In Santa Catarina, well, it looks very digital. It was not so much.
Yeah.
Most of the incredible shapes we have designed are handmade drawings.
I see.
And then only afterwards we could kind of make this in a kind of a 3D.
I see.
But we designed everything with drawings and models.
Okay.
So it's a little what happened with Gaudí, no? Gaudí
Right.
seems a digital production, no? But it's not.
I guess there were no computers at the time.
No, they didn't.
That's great. That brings me to the question of, something that we were talking earlier about was artificial intelligence, AI. What is your view of what's happening, what is emerging, and how do we deal with this?
I deal that I'm totally fascinated. Totally fascinated. But I still struggle to see how we can use this tool. No, because it's such a new tool and evolving in the moment, so that bringing in the process is still not something that we do normally. No, we are trying. We are starting. And I'm fascinated in this by the young generations. My son is working with art and artificial intelligence, and now he's doing an app on artificial intelligence. Of course, he's not explaining to me because
Right.
I'm not able, but I think it's a wonderful tool.
Yeah.
And once he gave me one of his piece of art made with artificial intelligence. And so I told him, so you did this with artificial intelligence. And he told me, no, mommy, I did it
Yeah.
with the help of artificial intelligence. And this is very
Authorship.
very important because it's always you deciding how to use this tool, which is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
But you have to shape it.
Yeah.
So now we are in the moment that we have to get to know this incredible tool, and let's see how we shape it.
How are you getting to know this tool?
Through the young generations who are working with me.
How are you using that in your practice now?
We are starting, for example, we started to produce collagen models by artificial intelligence. And it's a sort of divertissement we have been doing. And sometimes we are learning and we are saying, oh, but this is wonderful. This is very beautiful. We take that and not what we did by hand. But it's the beginning.
Yeah.
It's the beginning because also it's difficult to choose because you have so many possibilities that then you have to stay a lot on the choosing of the possibilities.
Yeah.
Which actually doesn't happen so much when you have to work with your hands because it's so difficult that you stay with what you have.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's introducing a lot of different ways of acting.
Yeah.
But of course, we cannot go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know this.
Cannot go back. That's a good one. Yeah.
This was Manfredo Tafuri that we were talking about before.
Right.
He loved to explain Walter Benjamin and the history of the angels of history.
Right.
So there is an angel like Paul Klee, who is like looking back. And Manfredo loved to describe him through Walter Benjamin as the angel looking back at the past, but there is a very strong wind which push him in front in the future. No, so we cannot go back.
Yeah,
there's no way we can look back and learn from the past, but we have to embrace the tools we have, the situation we have, our new reality, and I think we have to try to make it less painful as possible and the best as we can.
Yeah, that's well said. No, I think I'll maybe can, as we wrap it up, Manfredo Tafuri, who's my favorite theorist as well, and something that I would mention, very important, and I quote this all the time, is what he said about architects is architects are like gymnasts in a prison yard. Architects are like gymnasts in a prison yard. That stayed with me because, if we as designers choose to work only within the professional arena, then we limit our agency in terms of how we engage with the society. And I think, I don't know if you said that when you were there or not, but that is a very important thing. I always say that just because you're trained in architecture does not mean that you limit what you do to only architecture or only as an architect or a designer of any kind, but that you are a human being. You are in a society, and you have greater responsibility, but also greater power and agency to bring about positive transformation and lead us into the future. What are your thoughts?
I think this is so important, this positive transformation that we are trying to do. It's all together, no, with the society and with trying to influence as much as possible. And I think we have, maybe Manfredo was more negative than we are, because he also chose not to be an architect, let's say, and he was sort of imposing that.
Right.
He was saying to his best student, You are an historian, don't be an architect. It's a different story.
Interesting.
But he let me the permission.
Okay, good. Very good.
I asked him,
Yeah.
because I was in making a thesis with him, and at the
Yeah.
end I told him I wanted to make a project.
Yeah.
And he told me yes. He wrote a letter for me, and he said, "Have a good life."
Good.
So this I always have in my heart.
Fantastic.
But I think we are more positive, thinking that we always can try our best. No, and for example, in a very difficult situation like in the outskirts of Paris, we have to make a new station there. Of course, people in principle are very against. They are very big fighters, but we try to work together with some of the people, with some of the women there, and make collage together using the material that they love more, and then this collage try to put it into the building itself, and try to make a connection somehow. No? As we were saying before, we don't have a formula, but we can try our best, and we always have different tools at our disposition, so we have to try. And also, it's very nice. Sometimes we participate with biennales, or we teach in universities with students, and these are all exercises.
Right.
No, exercises where you can go at the limit of things, and maybe make discoveries.
Yeah.
That maybe are very useful for the society, and then you can apply somewhere else. I really believe society goes on like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these buildings, like this one where we are now, this brutalist building, and many of the tendencies which happen in architecture wouldn't happen if we don't have this place where to exercise, or this desire that we always have to implement into architecture something very necessary.
Absolutely. This is great. And I think that's what we try to do at the BAC is we are like a banyan tree model where there is a huge canopy. This is our stem, right? This is a trunk. But the canopy and then prop roots are all over the world, all over the city. They're in the communities, they're in the firms, they are in all kinds of organizations. And the whole thing works as an ecosystem, not as an ivory tower. And that's where the vitality of this institution comes from. And the intellectual freshness of this place is that we have nearly 270, anywhere between 250 to 270 faculty.
Wow.
Drawn from fresh graduates from any school to very experienced practitioners, and people into technology, people into theory, people into all kinds of things. And so there is an ecosystem where there is a vitality, where there is never a stagnation movement.
Fantastic, this is.
That is why I find this place also fascinating and kind of resonates with your own life and evolution, your experiences in Venice, going to school, right? It's that kind of a place where it surprises you. And say, oh, wow, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect this, that kind of a thing. And that is also why, in the undergraduate, we have open access. And that means anybody interested in design can come be part of this enterprise.
Fantastic.
Right? So in that sense, we are inclusive. And in the graduate programs and all that, we are predominantly graduate programs, right? And 70% of our students are graduate programs. But this is a nationally ranked program. This is now ranked number 4 and number 8, 2 consecutive years. Yale is right behind us, and MIT is one ahead or one behind us time to time. And we are in that mix of things. And that is why we find it, that's our secret sauce, if you will, or not so secret sauce, is the ability to do that. I think it's the spirit of how the vision with which the institution was founded in 1889 by Clarence Blackall and 11 other people who founded this institution based on Cooper Union was the idea and the grand vision that anybody can be part of this world of design and that everybody should be design literate.
Wow, fantastic.
Whether you go into the profession or not,
Yeah,
you need to be design literate.
very
And
important.
that is finding tremendous resonance today. It's almost like the whole world has turned and come to where we have always been,
Yeah.
that kind of a thing. What are your impressions so far about the BAC, and what have you learned or seen and experienced?
Well, I loved your description of the BAC, like this, not imposing like an ivory tower, but diluting and going like many routes and many branches everywhere in the society, and also to be very inclusive. I love that. I love this idea. And I love the Cooper Union. So I like very much the idea that this was born more than a century ago with this same philosophy. So I think it's a wonderful institution. And universities are always places where ideas are going on, no? And things are discovered, and even without noticing, because there is this continuous interchange between students, faculties, and the outside world. So I really think this is a wonderful place, and I'm so honored that you invited me here.
Yeah, absolutely. The honor is ours. And it's almost like a dream come true for me personally because of the relationship to your work and to my work as well. So we are absolutely thrilled, and we're looking forward to hearing you address our graduating class. And this is, by the way, the largest graduating class in many, many decades.
Really?
So we are growing, and we are graduating greater. So this is a large graduating class that you will be hearing from you. And we look forward to celebrating your work. And we appreciate that you have taken time from your extraordinarily busy professional and personal life to exclusively come for this occasion and be with us.
I'm very happy. It's such an honor, and I'm already learning a lot.
Great. Thank you, Benedetta.
Thank you, Mahesh. Thank you so much.